How would you guys address the Detroit Lions running game issues from a GM standpoint? From a player standpoint, like player by player, what would be your plan for the Detroit Lions? And honestly, they already pretty much putting in a schematic work of drawing up plays and getting the block in and doing stuff to really go the extra mile by bringing in the run game coordinator. Okay, well, we back. It's Motor City Sports Talk, and I'm going to tell you guys how I would address the running game, and I am CJ Goodfellow, and we back. How I would address it from a GM standpoint and a player standpoint, obviously I already stated several times that I wouldn't bring back any running back but Tion Green. And I understand theoretically has value, but at the end of the day, a running back that runs a 4.7 and he's like, 5'9", 5'10", and he doesn't have too much power, but he can catch. I mean, he has value, but I just will move on from him. You know, that's just my opinion right there. What I would do, I would look at running backs in the draft, and we could talk about that. Let's talk about free agency since it does come first. And let me know in the comment section, how would you guys attack or address it from a general manager standpoint, and what would you do with the guys? Who would you bring back? Who wouldn't you bring back? Or who would you guys like to be brought in? Now, one, I like Carlos Hyde. A little bit injury prone, but if I was to bring in a guy like Carlos Hyde, it would just be I wouldn't be counting on Carlos Hyde to be the number one back, all through the season. I would, if he wins the job out of training camp, I want to have a capable back that can hold, or capable backs that can really, hold it down until he gets back, or really is capable of just taking that job and not giving it back. I don't need a high-priced running back. I don't. So I'm looking at a Carlos Hyde. I'm looking at a Marcus Gillespie. I'm looking at somebody that's powerful. But in Carlos Hyde, you get speed, power, and now receiving ability. And that's why I like him a lot. You might have C.J. Anderson that hit the market. Doug Martin, Jeremy Hill from the Bengals. It's another guy that a lot of people like. But I like Carlos Hyde. I think his injuries were a product of being with a bad team and having to try to carry the load and face 8-9-man box because they didn't have a quarterback until Jimmy Garoppolo came back. So, I mean, I like bringing in Carlos Hyde. That would be my move. It's a lot of running backs that will be cut and stuff of that nature, but I like what he brings to the table. And I also bring back Tion Green. So that leaves me with drafting 2 running backs. And the running backs that I like, everybody likes the Penny kid. I think that's the kid from San Diego State. I briefly looked at him. I like what I see. That's a guy that I would look to bring in. But then I need a speed guy. I need a guy that's explosive, that can catch the ball out the backfield. He necessarily doesn't have to block great. It can be developed. I'm looking for a guy that's explosive. I'm looking for a 4-4, 4-3 guy. If he's small, he's small. But I need a guy that can, potentially catch it out the backfield and just take it to the house and gives me a return threat. Now, I know a lot of people want the Lions to be great and move up and get Saquon Barkley or Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, I don't know what's the asking price going to be for him. I think he's only 25 years old as well. And I don't think he's going to take a beating in Detroit as well. So we can address that. I like the idea of bringing in Le'Veon Bell, but for what price? What are the Pittsburgh Steelers looking to get? And they probably going to be looking to get a king ransom for him. They franchise tagged him. I believe he has plenty left in the tank. And I think if you compare him with a running back like Tion Green and potentially another running back, in the draft, he could be fresher as well. Especially with the Lions love to throw. His longevity with Detroit would be excellent, and he'd be an excellent choice out the backfield. So I really do like that, but I'm not looking to really spend my money on that and spend draft expenses, as far as draft picks, future draft picks, this year's draft pick, and pretty much have to pay him. That's like the double whammy. We have enough holes to fill, and I understand the running back position is vital. Before I would do that, I would move up and get Saquon Barkley because, one, I'm giving up draft picks already, but I'm not giving up a huge contract to a running back. I'm pretty much giving up a cap-friendly option with Saquon Barkley. I know he's not proven, and that's the flip side of the coin, but I take my chances with my scouting team and evaluating talent. But that's that scenario. But the scenario that I would do is pretty much I bring in Carlos Hyde. That's what I like right now. I keep Tion Green. I think about taking the guy in San Diego State second, third. But if not, if you want to go cheaper, I like the Geist kid out of LSU. He suffered some injuries last year, but he looked like the fact he might be the reincarnation of Leonard Fournette. And if that's true, and he's what you're looking for, and you truly believe in your board, you draft him. You keep a Theo Reddick, you keep a Tion Green, and then you draft another rookie, as a safety net later on. And that may be what people are looking for. But what's so interesting about the Lions is front seven. And this draft is very, very, it's very, very limited in pass rushers on the edge. So it might be the perfect time for a team to cash in on Ziggy Ansah. And we'll talk a little bit more in the free agency spotlight about this tomorrow, because today we're going to go to offense, I believe. So I got a guy that for defense I'm really looking at, but it's difficult because it's not the pass rushers in the draft. If you like somebody, you really like somebody in the draft that you can get late, or you like some of the guys late, and you believe in Zetto and Kerry Hyder coming back and being more than rotational players, which I only think they're rotational players, So, unless you like somebody in free agency, and I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence has been tagged yet, unless you really like somebody in free agency, okay? You don't have you don't have the luxury of trading up for Saquon Barkley, because your front seven is very in need. I know you could bring in Sheldon Richardson, a Star Lealute. You can bring in a Benny Logan or somebody like that. That's good. But you need some dogs on the outside that can set the edge and do something that Zetto really didn't do all year, set the edge, that can get upfield and get sacks. Then you need linebackers, which I'm not too concerned about. Historically, finding good linebackers, you can find them late in the draft, late in the first round, second, third round, fourth round. So I'm not worried about them finding linebackers. Find them in free agency. As long as it's not the middle inside linebacker, that's a tough position to find in this league, especially in the 4-3. Secondary, I'm really not worried about the Lions secondary. It's better than what it has been. It's just the pass rush fell off this year. So, running game, what I'm settling on here is this. I'm settling on bringing in a Carlos Hyde. I'm drafting a running back, second, third, fourth round. And a guy like the Penny guy, San Diego State, he might rise. I look at guys, but I think we need defensive help in the first round. If I can get the Penny guy in the second, third round, his stock is rising, and it may rise even further with the combine. I get him, and I keep Tion Green, and I get another fast, twitchy, explosive running back in the draft. An athlete that has run the ball, maybe like a Tyreek Evans that can run it and catch it. I don't know, like that. I haven't really been able to get in-depth in the draft, and I plan on doing that very, very soon and bring some good draft content. But that's how I would address the running game. I would kind of address it by committee and see who kind of pulls away out the pack, and then they get the majority of the carries. But I want that explosive running back as well. I want that balanced back like the Penny guy from San Diego State, that's his name is. And then I want the veteran like Carlos Hyde, and I'll keep a guy with potential like Tion Green. So let me know how you guys would address the running game, from a general manager standpoint.